We have learned a hard lesson over these last several years of how reliant the United States is to have so many critical components made overseas. Can you assess the last couple of years, Pat, and tell us how the supply chain problem and this reliance on chips overseas has impacted business and the economy here?
Yeah, and a couple of points there, Maria. The first one is this didn't happen the last couple of years. This was 30 years in the making, right, where we saw very strong industrial policies in China, Korea, Taiwan, right, that they were driving these investments here in those regions. And we used to be 80% of this industry. Now we're 20% of this industry, an industry we created in the United States. And now we said we want to have a more balanced world. We said our moonshot would be by the end of the decade that we're 50-50. 50% in U.S. and Europe, 50% in Asia, to accomplish that balance. Now, obviously, the last couple of years, oh my, have we seen the implications of that, and most acutely in the auto industry. I can't ship a $30,000 car. I have to idle a plant in Detroit to the Midwest because of a $2 semiconductor component. Unacceptable, economically unacceptable, socially unacceptable, politically unacceptable. So we aggressively need to rebalance the supply chains.
But what about the Shanghai lockdowns? That also weighed into things over the last couple of years. When would you expect the semiconductor shortage to level out or stabilize? Is this a 2023, 24 affair?
Yeah. A year ago, I said it was 23 until we got to some reasonable balance. Now, I think it's 24. And the combination of equipment supplier shortages, essentially the equipment that we use to go into those fabs I'm building, those supply chains have moved out significantly. And then combining with things like the Shanghai shutdown. And what we've seen in Shanghai was, a startling, right? That because of the COVID policies, we've seen the port shut down. And it's just created this backlog of equipment to get through that, it's even worsening some of the supply situations that we've had. But I think it's, again, emphasizing we need more balanced supply chains, right? We don't want anything going through any one port, whether that's U.S., European, or Asian, right? We need a geographically balanced, resilient supply chain. And this week's, activities or the last month's activities in China just reinforce that point so importantly. We're not ever going to stop being in China, but we need a balance across the world.
Well, it's a good point because Apple has said that they want to increase production of their products away from China. They're going to still be in China as well, but they're also talking about the need to expand capacity elsewhere, away from China. So do you see that increasingly? Do you hear that from customers? What do you want to say about that in terms of having less reliance on China?
A geographically balanced, resilient supply chain. That is the agenda that we are on. And what that means is, hey, I want more in Vietnam, Thailand, India, right? I want more in Mexico and North America. We want more in Europe. We want a balance across the world. So no one port shutdown or no one geopolitical instability creates this kind of ripple effect, and that we have no single points of failure in the supply chain. We also see that this is actually, good policy as well. It's good politics. The less dependent, the more that we can manage through different, issues that we might have.